I've just started the recording. This is being recorded. This is the lecture for Design 350. It's Tuesday, December 1st. And you can join on Discord. We don't have anybody on Discord right now, or through Google Meet, where most of you are right now. So the recording is on, and it will get posted here in a little while. So as I said, let's take a look at this schedule for the rest of the semester. I've got that right open already right here. Let me make it a little bit bigger so that you can see it. So as you know, I took away the due dates for the 29th. I figured what a bummer to have something due the weekend of Thanksgiving. So I pushed your industry choice number 2 module to Sunday, December 6th. That means that there will only be a 1 and a 2, and you can turn your work in right here. And many of you, your industry choice 2 has been an extension of your industry choice 1. So if you were late or didn't turn in your industry choice number 1, I will backfill it with what I see from your industry choice 2, so don't freak out about that. But that's due on Sunday the 6th. I really would like that done so that I can get my grading and go back and catch up anybody who's getting anything in late and do all those late things and stuff like that. I want to be able to catch up as much as I can before finals start as possible, so that you know exactly where you are. Remember, you do need to take the final, and you do need to turn in a final portfolio, or they affect your grades significantly. Okay, so that's due on December 6th, Industry Choice Module 2. Your final portfolio submittal. That is due on Tuesday, December 10th at 11:59. And I've got a template for you. And you can see what you have to do. But basically, let's see, do I have that here? Yeah. Basically, you're just going to give me your body of work, sort of, and you just need to show me that you have learned the material that you covered. So here when I say completeness, that means I want something out of each segment that we've done. Topo drawings, plot plans, land planning, module 1, survey, industry choice. So it doesn't mean every single thing that you've done goes in there. I want to see a good, clean demonstration of what you learned. And that could be done maybe in 1 drawing, 2 drawings, 3 drawings. So I've got this portfolio for you that's pretty straightforward and simple. You can, tell you the truth, you're welcome to give it to me in any single PDF format, file format that you want. Personally, I like to look at things that are somewhat clean and plain, but I've had people give me just absolutely beautiful work that doesn't fit my template at all. And in this class, you are allowed to do that. But if you just want to go, I don't want to think, I'm done, here it is, I just want to do it. Here's your survey template. You should show that you understand what a plot plan looks like and what they're used for. Topo drawings. Yeah, Benjamin goes, that's me. Land planning docs, survey data, industry project 1 and industry project 2. Now, those might end up being combined, and you could say industry project. Okay? So yes, you can. Laura says, could we submit 1 full module just submit as smaller drawings. Yes, so long as it's all in one file. So that's the other thing, is you could take your presentations that you've made already and just combine them as a PDF, right? Whatever you did, you could just put them all together in a PDF and say, I'm done. Okay? That would be perfectly fine with me. What's nice about something like this is that when you go to an employer, and you never know, the employer might be somebody who's looking to give you a gig contract or anything like that, and they want to go, okay, is this an organized person? Are they clear? Are they concise? Can they put something into a format? It's good to be able to hand one of these to them or shoot them to a link or something like that. Yeah, and so Laura's saying just how we did DT100 drawings at the end. Yes, so on here as an example, you could put one plot plan, or you could put a combination of the plot plans that you did on the plot plan section. And if you go, oh, but one page isn't enough, well, then you know how to duplicate a slide so that you can do that. Just let me know what each page is supposed to be about. Okay? So I should see something about plot plans, something about topo drawings. And remember, I think topo drawings is where we put the section drawing also. Something about your land planning documents. Bink, bink, bink. You know, like this would be great to put your Word documents all on here, and then, you know, you could probably even put 2 to 4 of your documents on each page. I've seen it done that way. Your survey data, maybe a survey data sheet for GPS and the drawing, and a survey data sheet for bearings and distances. Yes, links to the drawings. I'll show you that in a sec. Here I say include, let me make that a little bit bigger and easier to read. So you don't have to have each individual drawing if you don't want to. If at the top of each page you just want to put, you know, link to source work in a folder, you may do that. Or each one you can put a link. But most people that are looking at a portfolio, I've already seen your originals, your DWGs and all that kind of stuff. In this case, it would be fine to just have a link to the full-size PDF. So let's say you had, you know, something that was that big, and you had a couple of them on your page. Let's say you had something like that. Well, that is kind of hard to see. And so a link to the full-scale PDF of this one would be nice. The full-scale PDF of this one would be nice. And the full-scale PDF of this one would be nice. But it would absolutely suffice just to have a link to a folder right here. And so Laura says, for the survey data, should we have the data pages along with the drawings themselves? Yes, because the survey, somebody will want to know that you understand what a good survey record would look like. Now, not everybody's survey record looks exactly like the ones we used, but somebody will want to know that you understand that you write them down, and you write down certain pieces of data, and then you make a calculation. So Benjamin says that he's got all of his work in separate folders for each module. Yeah, that's really super easy then, right? You just put the link to that folder, and that's really good. And so for the land planning documents, do we want the letters? I believe that it's important. They're an important part of it. And so I do believe that the letters that you write are a significant piece of evidence to somebody that that you understand the full process and you can do more than just draw. Okay, so that would be good. And either as PDFs or Word docs or whatever, I think those are very, very good to put in there. And then if you're really cool and you've done it like me where you have an actual template and you fill things that you actually just fill the data in from an Excel spreadsheet to create your documents, that's even more cool. And if anybody's interested in learning how to do that, I can't show you because my program doesn't work right now. I'm waiting for my license. I think I can show you on my personal one. I use a program called Document Studio. It's Mail Merge. Mail Merge has been around since probably 1998, where you can create a Word template and then make a list of the keywords that go into it. And you can just create document after document after document off of the Mail Merge. And I've got a program called Document Center. I may have to change back to Mergy, but I like Document Center. That you have your template and you have an Excel spreadsheet, and it just fills in the template off of each line of the spreadsheet. And that's how I usually communicate with people. So I can mass communicate, but everybody gets their own bit of information. So as an example, I can make a template for one of these planning documents, and I can just type in what the address is, who the owner is, what the main point is, and then bink, I've got my thing. So I'll show you how to do that. I'm making a note to show you how to do that. And I'll make a little video off of my personal one. My school one doesn't work right now. Our school is having just a real hard time with software licenses. I can't get into Minecraft. I can't get into Document Studio. I can't get into Fusion 360 through my normal routes. It's just really hard right now. I don't know why. Anyway, so back to this one. And here's your industry choice number one. And if you feel like it, you can get rid of that number one and get rid of this sheet altogether and just say industry choice drawings. Okay? So you can do that. How many of you have used Mail Merge? Put in the chat line if you have used a Mail Merge program before. Okay, so Laura, you've done it, so you know what I'm talking about. Benjamin hasn't, Wasan hasn't, Isaac has. Okay, I think that that's actually something that's important. And I'm going to do a little video on it. And I think then, since it's so important, I'm going to eventually have one of our excellent video editors make a real video about it. And we'll see. And I'll find one maybe that everybody can use that's free. So there we go. Laura, what program have you used? What's the name of the... Did you just use the one out of Word? Okay. Yeah. So I use a web-based one that works in Google Drive. And it's kind of cool because then I can use a Google form, and the Google form creates the spreadsheet, and I can set the spreadsheet up so that as soon as an entry is made, it sends an email to the person. So that's how you automate that system so that you don't have to do... Yeah, wow. Yeah, so like as an example, if you have your own company and you want, people send you a thing that says, oh, I'm interested in a quote. Well, you don't want to go back and read through everything every night and they're wondering if they've got it or not. You want something that's automatic. So you would put a Google form on your website. The Google form would take the basic information, their name, their contact, what their address is, and it would immediately send back to them a reply via email that says, thank you, so-and-so. It's got their name. We see that you've asked for a quote for your address of this. We expect to give you a reply in 1 to 2 days to set up a formal time, right? And it's just so much more professional, and people aren't wondering. And you know what it's like. The first person to reply has a much higher chance of getting the job. That's just the way it goes. It's how it works. So you want a system like that. So I'm going to, I think that's important. And I will do that. And it will not be part of the student learning outcomes for this course or your final exam. But it will probably end up being the most important thing that you've learned in the whole class. It'll probably be the most useful thing that you've learned. So anyway, okay. Does anybody have a question on any more questions on the portfolio itself? And we'll be able to go over it again. And you really don't have to work on it this week. You should be able to just throw your stuff in here in a matter of hours. And so if you start working on it next week, and it's due on Thursday the 10th at 11:59 p.m. This is one of those things that, yes, you do have to turn something in or your grade goes down 1 letter grade. So please do turn it in. Okay. So there we go. That was the portfolio and the portfolio template. I think I was going over the schedule and we jumped over to that. So, industry choice number 2 due on the 6th, that's Sunday. Final portfolio due on Thursday the 10th, and there's the template. Final exam and grade. So, the final exam will be available to you on December 7th. And you can turn it in at any time up to December 17th at 11:59 p.m. That is the end of finals. You are also welcome to turn it in and then ask me to review it for completeness. Okay? I will not grade it until I'm ready to grade it. But if you turn it in and you're sitting there and go, I hope I got everything turned in, you can certainly put it in the text box. It says, please check this for completeness and let me know. And I'll check it to see that I can see everything, I can access everything, and that all the parts that I'm looking for are there, and I will send that back to you. Yes, there is an exam. And so let's take a look at it. How the final works. Here it is right here. Okay? And it's sort of on your own. You don't have to record it. You don't have to do anything like that. So this is the final exam I'm referring to. Yep. Yes. And so you can, and that will be open for you to ask for the final exam. You can ask me to check for completeness, not for how good did I do, but did I get everything turned in that you're looking for? So as an example on, if you do the CC&R write-up, which is basically just set the ground rules, I'm going to give you a thing to write them about. Hint, hint, it will probably have to do with either transportation or communication and a community-based transportation or communication setup on the property. You can write a set of CC&Rs or the ground rules for it. I am expecting it should take you about an hour Okay? This is like not a big thing. It should not take you more than an hour to do. For your skill demonstration, collect some data and make a drawing. And for this one, it will be the newest version of the game that's got the building on it. I will be asking you most likely to survey the little shed that has 4 corners and to put that shed onto your existing drawing. Put the building pad for the shed on your existing drawing. So it's basically get 4 points and put a rectangle on one of the existing drawings that you've already got. Again, I do not expect it to take you more than an hour. And then the other one is to go into, if you did the Minecraft one, so like Ayub, this one would be very simple for you. I'll be asking you to go into your Minecraft, take a set of points that I ask for. It'll either be the 4 points of the building pad itself or the 4 points of the graded area that you excavated and did the fill, and put them onto a survey data sheet as an XYZ set. Again, it should take about an hour or less. Okay? So let's see. All associated files, blah, blah, blah. Okay, yeah. So there we go. So that's what the final exam will be. And so if, for example, you go, oh, did I do enough? If you do your survey data skill thing, and you go, oh, did I turn in the right stuff? I'll say yes or no. No, I also need. If you did this, how, did I turn in the right stuff? Well, if you turned in your survey data sheet and your original survey data sheet and your drawing, then yes. Okay, so things like that. I'll let you know. Okay, let's see. Schedule for the rest of the semester. I just did a preview of the final exam, preview of the portfolio, did that. Let me go ahead and jump into classes for the next semester, because then those who are totally uninterested in the drone survey stuff I'm going to show can leave. Although I think this is super interesting. And you should know, Professor NoCal hired one of our drone pilots for the company he works for, Clark Pacific. He's the BIM manager. And they now have a drone survey service, a drone service for their clients. And he's flying all over the place. They're flying in San Jose. They're flying up north. They're flying in the Bay Area in Sacramento. So they now have a drone services group. And they're licensed. They use Drone Deploy, and it's really a cool thing that they've integrated. And this came out of our program. So if you're kind of interested in, this is the super initial basics of how it works. They're actually using it as construction management, whereas what I'm going to show you is land planning visualization. But drones are just an excellent tool right now. But let's go over classes for next semester. So before I go look at what individual ones, all classes are online next semester, as you know. Our courses are all listed as asynchronous. In other words, we don't have a specific meeting time listed in the schedule. But I believe almost all of our professors, okay, so there is no set time. It's just like this one. If you're just not available and you're working all day and you have to do the stuff at night by watching videos and stuff, you can do that. But just like this semester, almost all of our instructors have a set time when they're going to be giving a lecture for those that can make it. Now, we try to coordinate a little bit so that we don't overlap each other. But it could be that we overlap or we overlap with another one of your professors and courses. But you can contact the instructor in advance. So, as an example, I know what mine are going to be. It's going to be set up almost exactly like what I've got now. Tuesday and Thursday mornings are going to be my design 3:30, and Tuesday and Thursday afternoons are going to be design 3:20, and Wednesdays will be mostly my design 498 design hub work. So I sort of know what I'm going to be doing and when, and so you could, say, hey, when are you going to do your stuff? But it will be much like this, okay? So you should know that and feel free to contact any instructor at any time to go, how will you be running class? How is it going to work? What platform are you going to use? Are you going to use Confer Zoom out of Canvas? Are you going to use Google Meet? Are you going to use this? Are you going to use that? Feel free to get with them and go, how is it going to work? Especially if it's important to you in your decision as to whether you want to take the class or not. Okay? So just know that. You should also know that for the summer, there is, as I've told you, real strong work. We're just really working hard to see how we can get ourselves back into some sort of in-person, hands-on classes, particularly for horticulture, welding, automotive. I believe that design technology is going to be asked to be online as much as we can in the fall, except for specified activities that are outside, because our buildings are being torn down starting in the fall, or the teardown takes a year, and everybody's being moved, and they don't think that they can move all of tech ed to the portables all at once. So there's a chance that design tech will be asked to be, we've already been asked if we have to, would we be able to? And of course the answer is yes. But we will have the opportunity to do things like drone classes and survey and any of those things that we normally have to do where we're walking around outside. We will be able to do those functions, we think, in the summer, if we can get this thing under control. It's certainly looking really bad right now, but we're hoping that things turn the corner. Okay? So that's important. Now, for those of you who are in design technology and still need some classes, here's how it goes. Spring-only classes are designed 328, 330, and 360. So if you need any combination of those, you really want those this coming spring. So as an example, if you have not had design 328 yet, you need to take that in the spring. If you have not had design 330 yet, you need to take that in the spring. And if you have not had design 360 and it is needed, so I'll answer Benjamin's question in a minute. So 330 and 360 is an either or. So Isaac, you're doing engineering technology. If you need help figuring out if you need 360 or not, I believe it's an either or with 340. But even if it's an either or, I strongly suggest you take 360 if you have the room to do it. It's really the good technical commercial structures, and you'll learn about footings and how to calculate the size of a footing, and beams and how to calculate the size of beams and things like that. So if you have any questions on whether you should take one of these classes, let me know. Benjamin says he hasn't looked yet, but is 100 and 302 available. You need only those 2 classes for another degree. So, yes, both of them are available. 302 and 100 is now been renamed 301. And so it's the equivalent class. So you can take 301. And there are 3 sections of 301. Which one is the SketchUp? That's 320 is where we teach SketchUp. So if you're interested in learning SketchUp, that is part of what we teach. And I am teaching 320 next semester. And if you let me know ahead of time, I teach a number of different, I teach a little bit of Revit, a little bit of Fusion, a little bit of SketchUp. And so I do it again, much like I do my 301 class, where I teach some good basics. Here's something that's flat. Here's something with volume. Here's how you make it have volume. And I do that in AutoCAD and in SketchUp. And then I let you focus on the industry that you're interested in. So if you're interested in landscape, I give you landscape projects, because it's really about the design process. And the design process is fundamentally the same whether you do mechanical, architectural, landscape, civil, or the like. Okay? And I believe we're going to have a number of programmers that will be able to put your environments into very simple walkthrough games. So if you remember how in I did 320, I think, Laura, were you in that? Where we did it with VR?
Yeah, we did it in 100, and it was really
Oh,
cool.
that was in 100 that you did the VR. Yeah. That's right. You did it with the Revit building, right? With the
Yep,
little building.
exactly.
Well, we'll be able to do that, but not in VR. Well, we can also do it for VR, but not enough people have VR capabilities. So we're stepping back, and I've got my programmer setting it up so that we can put sort of any environment, any model into an environment, and just be able to do a walk around with these WASD keys. And you can see how cool it is just from the survey thing if you can just walk around, right? But it's more cool if you walk around in your environment that you built. So 320 is going to really be focusing towards that. And if SketchUp is the tool that you want to learn, then you will be able to you've got to touch all of them. You have to touch AutoCAD, you have to touch Revit, and you have to touch SketchUp. But then, as always, that takes 4 to 6 weeks. Then you've got 10 weeks to sort of develop your skill in the area that we want to. And we just have a number of cool projects. We have some really neat landscaping projects. We have neat building projects. We have neat physical, cool item modeling projects. We have the ability to run what we call finite element analysis. We have structural analysis. You get to touch these, all while building up your skills in these things. So it's kind of neat. 320 is a fun class. I don't think it's required for the landscape architecture, but you might like it. And 320 is offered normally. 320 is offered in spring and fall. But because of the cutbacks in budget, we did not offer it this fall. And I'm not positive we have it in the schedule for next fall. We asked for it to be, but it will be the one that gets dropped. Yeah, so Benjamin, you did some SketchUp in Hort 326. Yeah, I'm not surprised. I mean, it's a great visualization tool. It's a real crummy tool for doing strong technical work as far as being able to get data out of it. How many of this are there? What's the real, physical area? How do you make connections and things like that? But it is truly great for being able to use components and getting great visualizations. I learned the power of it from my niece. Well, I mean, we were teaching it at the same time, but my niece was at Cal Poly in landscape architecture, and she came back and started asking me all these questions about, oh, how do you do the lighting, and how do you do the shading, and how do you do the sun position? And I'm going, holy moly, this is freaking amazing. So, I worked with my niece on that and learned a lot of it. And it really is cool. And you should know that the free online version is horrible. It hardly does anything. If you are going to use it, you need some sort of real license, or it's going to be crummy. Yeah, like what you saw the other day. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Laura and I were doing a project trying to get something done, and it was just like crummy. So you do need a good version of it. But the things you can do with it are flipping amazing. So we do that in Design 320. And so if you're interested, that is a fun class. It's a cool class. I don't believe it's needed for any of the landscape architecture. I think interior design might utilize it, and of course design technology utilizes it. Isaac, I'm not thinking that engineering technology needs it. I don't remember. We'll have to look that up. But again, if you're interested, it can be fun. And because we've got this ability to really teach design process, I can focus it in a certain direction. And if you'd like, you can see some portfolios that work. And we do go all the way to manufacturability in certain areas too. So that's kind of it's kind of cool. So yeah, so Isaac, yeah, and if you have questions, just get with me on a Google Meet, and you can ask for some more about that. Particularly, I think you would be interested in the stress and displacement analysis and some of the ability to look at manufacturing processes that pop out of doing the good design process. And not that you need to be good at it, but you should know that it exists. So if you do start working at a place, and this works in concrete, it works all over the place too. Works for structural, so that'll be kind of fun. But these are the spring only classes, and Design 320 might be introduced to it. So So yeah, so think it over. It's kind of fun. I do like SketchUp. I make fun of it a lot. It's a horrible program, by the way, for 3D printing. But it really is an excellent tool for model visualization that's very, very quick. So there we go. And I don't think the class is going to fill up and get overly full. So you don't have to sign up right away, although I'd love it if you do. Design 498, I want to talk to you particularly about that. Some of you have already asked me about it. Wasan, I know that you've asked. Unfortunately, we are still in the position of only being able to provide unpaid internships. Last spring, we had 65 paid internships, and that money immediately disappeared. It was the first thing that went away with the budget cutbacks, which is a shame because that's really, unfortunately, how many people get to do it. What is the so Rob Benjamin? You just put something in there. What is that? That's a cool link to something cool. Oh, cool! It's something you did in 326. Let me take a look at that really quick. Yeah. So this is an example of what you can do, and what's really cool is you can drop that environment right into Unity and be able to walk around in it. And so I'm thinking that it would probably take. Now the trees are a little bit difficult because the way SketchUp does a tree is they make a planar surface and they just put an image on it that always faces the camera, and that doesn't work in that. But this is very typical of the type of stuff we do in 320, where we give you a specific project and you get going on it, and we pop things in, and it's kind of cool. So yeah. So that's nice looking. That is really cool. So here we go. So we do need that is really nice looking. We need people that are good 3D photographers, video editors, presentation graphics people. And we're looking for these to support faculty. So as an example, I should have brought up, let me see really quick here. I'm going to show you a virtual tour that we just made. So here's a virtual tour that we made of the weld facility. So somebody had to go in and take the 360 photos, okay, and check it out, and so you can see. And like right over here, it says, "Oh, that's the generator room right over there." And then we can go to another one, and we can look around. Oh, what is this thing? That's the fire extinguisher. What does it do? It puts out fires and things like that. So we have a need for people that understand good photography. You can't just go take anything. Yeah, that is cool, isn't it? And we can even embed quiz questions into here. Like, here's a person and they're getting ready to do a quiz, and here's this and there's that. And so hand washing areas, and what do you find in here? Here's a question. Somewhere there's a question about burns. There's a second degree burn, Here's another one. Here's a question that you can think about. So these are really neat tools. And I'm telling you, for those of you in horticulture, if you want to help your horticulture professors put things together with 360 tours and learn how to be a 360 tour tech, we actually have positions available for 360 tour techs that will work for a professor. There is no class for that. Well, yes, there is a class for that. The class is Design 498. It's an internship, but we require you to take a work experience class along with it. So you would apply for the job, and we'll teach you. It's actually it's not hard. It's like there's a 1 hour PowerPoint training session, and then you know how to do it. It's really simple. And if you're at all good with a camera, we've got about 5 and you don't even need a 360 camera. You can go out with your Android or your iPhone and take it. But you have to know a little bit about lighting. You don't want to take it at a time when the light casts bad shadows and this and that. So you need to know a little bit, right? And the ability to make the 360 thing is a very simple program, and then to put it into the virtual tour. So we're looking for interns, unpaid interns. Now you should know the Design Hub has a quality management system. You have to do time cards. You have to show that you're following our quality model. And you do what's called a quality blog every week, where you tell us what you were assigned to get done, whether you got it done, whether you notify. It's a job. It's a real job, and we run it like a job shop. And so those of you who want to enter the gig economy, it'll be really good, because you have to account for your time. And it's kind of fun, and it's kind of cool. So we're looking for unpaid interns that know, excuse me, 3D photography or video editing or presentation graphics like Vyond or Prezi. We are putting together a team to support professors who go, if I just had, and we want to put that in their hands and let them use it to teach with, and we don't think it should be up to the professor to spend 10 hours to create a 1 hour project for their class. That's like, it doesn't work that way. We need an intern to spend 10 hours. Okay? The professor should, and you have to learn the professor, right? It's just like anything. The first time through, the professor goes, well, what I want, and you don't really get it, and you do stuff, and you go back and forth. By the end of the semester, the professor should almost just look at you and you go, yeah, I got it right. And you just go do it, right? That's the service we want to provide through the Design Hub. So we are actively recruiting. We have a job application. Here is the actual job description. It's real. If you get one of these jobs, it really counts. It actually counts. And these are job hours that you log. You have them right to our HR department or to us. You log it as actual work experience, and you've got it. And here's the application form. It's very simple. We'll give you a very quick. We want people. We are not training people. You have to be good, and you have to be ready, and you have to go. You have to be a self-learner. We have the tools. We know the tools. We know everything. And we point you in the right direction. And Tristan can give you training. Veronica and I can give you training. But we're not going to give you more than an hour or two of training, and then it's like, go! We'll hook you up with a professor. We also, for those of you who are interested in making environments, we have a lot of environments that we need just built. Quick environments. We need a building that's like this with this and this and this and this. Or we need an overpass that looks like this and this and this and this. Or here's a Revit model and we need to clean it up to get it into the environment. And so most of you know the Revit and the SketchUp, but you need to learn a little bit of texturing so that when we give it to our Unity programmers, they don't have to go back and do it themselves. They know how to do it, but in the interest of speed, we want it for them already. And so we'll teach you. It's pretty simple how to texture using Blender. So you make your model in SketchUp or Revit or whatever, and then you get it into Blender to apply the textures, and then you export it to our Design Hub expert, Tristan Burns, and we are recruiting programmers right now. So I don't know, some of you might even have a programming background, and if you're interested in that, this is really a cool thing. So I do know that there's a big crossover. I learned engineering and design, but I did a lot of I actually learned how to program EEPROMs at the 0 and 1 level for a nuclear job that we were doing where the program had to sit inside the nuclear reactor in our equipment. And so we had to shield it and do all this kind of stuff. So I actually took a course because I was able to program. So programming is an important thing. If you're interested in that, we can sort of throw you in the right direction to do additional work, and that we do have classes for. But if you are into Revit and SketchUp and combining those two into an environment that we can use for specific training, then we can do that. And I'm also looking for a Minecraft technician. I need a Minecraft technician that can create various identities and jobs in Minecraft for me in many, many different applications, and somebody who can organize those and keep the world straight and apply access to those worlds and keep the server running, and even integrate mods into the educational environment, because a lot of the ones can go in but they're not there already. So if you're a Minecraft person and wants to be a Minecraft technician for simulation environments, we'd love to have you. And we even have a very, very technical program if you're interested in that. So those are the things that we've got going for Design 498. Let's look and see what is available for this semester in Design Tech. So there's 301, and there's plenty of open seats. It's asynchronous. All of these instructors are great instructors. So you know what, you can just sign up for whichever one you feel like. They're all asynchronous. So there you go. You get 3 sections to choose from, and this counts as Design 100. It takes its place. Okay? Design 302, there's 1 section, and that's Professor Welch, and he loves Inventor, and he loves to get you to actually design what you're going to draw. So he really incorporates the design process into what he does. He's super cool. Some of you know him and know that I will be presenting your Winding Way land planning projects to him because that was his property. Uh, and I think he'll be actually really interested. There's design 320. Don't worry if it goes to wait list. We can handle tons. This is not a hard one to go over with. There's 24 seats. There's 16 of them open. This thing is not going to fill up, so don't worry about it. You can take your time deciding. But if you feel like it, it's a really fun, cool one. Design 328. That one, if you are in design technology or engineering technology, you need to sign up for this one. It's only offered in the spring. So you have to sign up for this one if you haven't already taken it, if you are in design technology or engineering technology. Because it won't be offered until the following spring. Same with design 330 and 360. Now, these are both 5-unit classes, and they're much like this one. I don't think they are. So which one was jam-packed, Laura? Was it 320? What was jam-packed? 30? Yeah, 320. Yeah, it was pretty full. But that's cool. But it was jam-packed because we only had 24 workstations. So since we've got the VMware, it's much easier to work now. 330, that's only offered in the spring, and it is required for design tech and engineering technology. So if you have not taken it, you want to take that one. Design 360 is required for design technology, and Isaac, remind me, I think it's either or 340 for engineering technology, but really and truly, this is the one that makes the most sense. Yay, Wasan, 330, your last class. Woo! That is awesome. I think you're really going to enjoy it. It's what I love. It's me, man. That's my field. And so Isaac Isaac for engineering technology, it's one or the other. So we'll go look that up really quick. I'm gonna check that out really quickly. Engineering technology. Okay, so here's where it says for engineering technology, it's either 340 or 360. So it's sort of up to you. If you've had 340 already, you don't need 360, but it's really, for me, I believe it's the most appropriate of the two. So if you can take it, it would be really cool. If you haven't taken either one yet, then this one will meet your requirement. Yeah, this is engineering. This is engineering technology. So it's for people that really, like me, that enjoy this stuff. Believe it or not, some of us do. It's really odd. Some of us do. I loved my equivalent of Chem 305. I flippin' loved that class, and I worked in a chemistry lab for 3 years. It's kind of cool. So anyway, let's see. 360 really is a cool class, yeah. But this, of course, is for engineering technology. So Isaac, that should help you figure it out a little bit. You'll want 360 if you can fit it into your schedule. If not, then you'll take 340 in the fall and finish your degree or certificate at that point. Okay, we can get together and go over that in specifics. So there we go. So it looks like I took up the whole class and didn't get to drone deploy, which is perfectly fine. I will do drone deploy during our lab, and I'll go over that. At Renolfo, are you on right now? I'm not even sure he's on right now. There we go. Are there any, before I stop the recording, are there any, oh, I had one other thing to show. If you've got a question, feel free to put yourself down in one of these slots that are open, and it can be a question about anything. About the internships in Design Hub. What classes should I take? What do I still need to do for this class? Whatever it happens to be. What's going to happen in the fall, next year, which I don't have much information. I've got a little bit of. So if you got any questions, just pop it down on here. We'll do a quick Google Meet, and that'll be cool, okay? All right, so here's what's going to happen next. Go ahead, if you have a specific question, put it in the chat line. I'm going to do the drone deploy first. Then I'm going to go to the chat line and pick up questions out of the chat line, and then I'll start answering questions in order off of the Google Meet. Okay? So there's